How are you guys doing?
Great. Just got off the stage, feeling excited, lots of energy.
Yes, main stage at Forbidden Kingdom.
Oh yeah, it's so good to like play these shows again. It feels a little surreal because it's been such a long time. But
Absolutely. Is this your first festival back?
Yes,
think
that is
so,
my first
yeah.
festival back. Yeah.
And then you got to do B2B, which is just fire, you know? Lots of IDs to be tested tonight, lots of music. Seemed like the crowd was pretty rowdy, you know?
Yeah, I mean they're all like bass fans out there, so
Oh,
that's what they came for, just to be rowdy.
Yeah, to be rowdy. It's definitely a different vibe when you get just bass focused festivals.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's like a mini Lost Lands almost to an extent. And have you all played? You played Lost Lands first year, right? You
Yeah.
Yeah, we played
Oh.
first year. Yeah.
Yeah, we played
so,
back to back.
So what's the difference between like this and like Lost Lands? Is it just bigger, larger scale? What would you say?
There's a little more dinosaurs in Lost Lands.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah.
Just a couple. Yeah.
I was super scared by like the second stage with the huge dinosaur that's above you. I thought like if that thing's gonna like come down or something.
Oh my
But no,
God.
everything's like amazing stage
That'll be
holds
the
together.
first time in millions of years a dinosaur kills a human.
It'll be great. I'm excited for this year. It should be like next level. Something I've noticed coming out of like COVID, quarantine, lockdown, whatever you want to refer it to,
Yeah.
is that everything is going to be like next level, top notch. And for you guys who have been literally like touring DJs for what, like a decade now, almost a decade, how has it felt to take a break and come back?
Well, I was just saying, like, getting off the stage, it feels honestly really weird because we've been sitting at home, like, doing various stuff, like writing music, other projects, you know, playing video games like everyone else is doing, and then you go from that to, like, straight back into this, and it's, like, kind of a shock almost, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it's been mad. It's like everyone's been working on stuff, but then there's also, I saw all these tweets that were like, oh, all these artists are gonna like release amazing quarantine albums. But then again, no, like most of us are depressed and just sitting at home not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
running out of money. No, it's just...
Yes, and that's what I feel like is a huge thing that I've been speaking to artists over the weekend about, is this lifestyle is very, you can get drawn to it, and you can kind of like combine your project with your personal life.
It was like giving this rhythm of there's shows on the weekend, and then during the week you're back home and you have to work, and then you have to get up to get your flight, and it was kind of enforcing this rhythm that you have to follow, and then as soon as that breaks away, it's like, what day of the week is it? What time of day is it? And suddenly you have to like take care of yourself.
Yeah, it blurs together. You gotta take your alone time, and it's good to have like a forced year of alone time for sure.
Yes, and I feel like there was like a lot of like personal reflection
Yeah.
from a certain standpoint, because you're going, and what we said, we all had a schedule where it was A, B, C, repeat, and then when you go, holy shit, A, B, and C don't exist anymore, what the fuck do I do? For a while I was like sleeping, and then I would stay up all night, and then I would sleep all day, and then 4 months into it, when I was like, okay, this shit is gonna be here for a while, then you have to almost create this like new routine.
Yeah.
And was it cool for you guys to finally have this moment where you got to like breathe?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people took up new hobbies, so that was like a big thing that kind of saved me. So like I'm like roasting coffee. I was like building like acoustic panels. I built like I bought like so many tools and started like woodworking just for because like I had so much time, and I would just like move from one thing to another, and it's like, oh, I could do this, I can do this.
For the first couple of months, it was just like how to fill this void. I'd be like building Legos, getting into 3D animation, playing video games.
Minecraft festivals.
Oh yeah,
that was huge.
That was really dope.
That was
How
super
was
fun.
that? Because you guys did a good like lot of them. Disciple did a few, right?
Yeah, he's been organizing a bunch.
We did 3. Yeah, we did 3. One of them was like before COVID, and then the second one was like we were planning it for like later on in 2020, but then when COVID happened, it was like, all right, everyone is home. Let's get everyone on board right now before anything like happens, and so we like rushed on it and did one I think like a month or 2 after COVID happened, and then everyone was so happy that like that stuff like that was happening. So then we ended up doing another one later on, and that was like even bigger. And
it's such like a broad community that you guys have built that's so connected. When I look at like the Disciple like Facebook group and all of that shit, tell me about. I would love to hear about the process of like how you fucking organize that, because I couldn't even imagine the back end of organizing. Like, is it an independent
Oh yeah,
server?
he knows about this
Yeah.
more than I do.
Yeah, I can talk about that a little. So I just basically asked my friends if they wanted to play a Minecraft festival.
Okay.
And tried to get them to say yes or whatever. And I have a bunch of friends who like do everything else basically. So they like build the world in Minecraft. And they'll like code all these stuff for like production and like lighting, synchronizing all that. And they put like hours and hours and hours of work into all that. And I'm just there like, all right, here's the lineup, here's the sets.
Here you go.
And yeah, there you go. And they just like went nuts and worked so hard on it. So shout out to the Minecraft family and the Discord server and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I was wondering if it was like all coding or if it was just a backend, but that's insane to just code everything from the ground up.
Yeah.
For,
Well,
like, this whole
yeah.
And building
I mean,
the stages and
yeah.
like stuff around the stages.
Minecraft makes some of it easier, but also some of it even harder than if you like at some point we were like, wait, maybe we should just drop this and like invent a new video game just from doing festivals because then it would be faster.
That'd be pretty insane. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just cool to see that you guys created an outlet when there were no shows for like the Disciple family to come together. Because are you both from LA? I know you're from LA.
I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm from Germany.
He's from Germany.
Originally, yes, I
Yeah.
know you're from. I
But
listened to
yeah.
your podcast with Mr. Bill. I love listening to his
yeah.
podcast, and I heard all about like your come up, and I thought that was really, really, really interesting. How you kind of just put yourself out there in the laptop, and your laptop breaking at your first show.
Oh, the tower computer.
Yes.
I love
First show
that
with
story.
Tower
Yeah.
computer.
Okay, tell it, because now we've got.
Yeah,
now
tell
we've
the
got
computer story.
No, the first show was in some tiny village in Germany where I didn't have a laptop, so I brought my tower computer, keyboard, mouse, screen, and it just looked like it was a LAN party and I was about to play Counter-Strike with my friends or something.
Yes.
And the guy after me was playing on vinyl, so it was like the absolute clash of two worlds, and him just looking at me like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, good
What
times.
year was that?
Oh boy, I do not, maybe 10 years or something
That's
ago.
amazing. And then when you came to, what was the point in which like you came to the States, and then what was the point that you connected with Disciple? Because I know you guys are like the OGs. in
Like,
Disciple.
we connected through Disciple before I came to the States, like
Okay.
6-7 years ago.
Wow.
In France, we like met
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah,
At a show.
There was that show in Paris. I had been like working with Disciple for like a few months, and they were just been like talking to you, and then we all kind of like convened. Like there was like people from England, people from the States, and then him from Germany. We all convened at this one big like the first Disciple show in Paris, and like that's where everyone met each other.
How was the scene out there?
Oh, I mean, France is insane. It's been one of the best like countries for like bass music.
Lots
since
of drum and
forever.
bass
Yeah,
as
they
well.
love
Oh, yeah.
they love the heavy stuff.
And I know, like,
Yeah.
in the realm of drum and bass, we always wanted to come here, but it exists so much more over there, and you can actually have like a standhold where it's at. And
Yeah.
I look
Yeah.
at people like Funkcase and Dr. P and all of those guys who weren't able to make it over here this weekend. And it's
Oh
like,
my God, that's
yeah,
so sad.
Like all of the visa problems and all of that shit, I just can't imagine. At any point, so did you at any point decide that you were going to go back overseas, or were you just like, I'm staying here? I'm here?
It was, so I was in university at the time when I moved here.
Okay.
So there were like, we had to like gather information and reasons for me to come to the US because of like the visa process is kind of difficult, and you have to like hand in letters of recommendation, and we had to collect like up to 50 bookings that were already lined up for me to come here. And then it was just like, compared to Europe, it was like 2 or 3 shows every weekend here, where in Europe it would be 2 or 3 a month. So then that was just kind of the biggest incentive to stay here. And then I moved in, like as soon as I moved here, immediately with him and Doubloads,
Oh, really?
which
Wow,
was
that's so
a really fun time.
Roommates.
And then that's how you guys
They were
kind of
roommates.
connected after meeting through the Disciple family. And at that time, Disciple was really just getting started, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we were like the little guys in the dubstep world back
Well,
then.
now look at
It was,
you
it was
guys. now you're one of the top bass labels, and I feel like when I talk to so many up and comers, they're like Roundtable, Disciple.
Mhm.
That's the goal. And you guys have built such like a tight knit family between like you and Vandals and Lemonade, and it's really cool to see something like that develop, because I feel like when I look at a lot of the labels and sub labels in the industry, they do not have the connection that you all have. You know?
Yeah, I feel that I like family is definitely a big thing with Disciple, and I just feel lucky that like we got in with like the right people back then. and we've been able to grow with them all over time. It's really sick.
Yeah, also everyone just living so close together in LA, being able to like meet up at all times and doing like all kinds of activities as a label that are like outside of music, just like a Christmas meetup, going to like a mini golf course with everyone, just this stupid stuff, but
like
with
all
everyone.
Rob's ideas for like activities, that stuff goes a long way.
But I feel like that's so important, you know, to have that like separation of like, hey, like we're either doing this makeup collab X, Y, and Z, but after we're still gonna hang out and go fucking mini putt-putt golfing, or we're gonna go to the movies and all of that shit. So with you living in Massachusetts, has it been kind of weird to not be in LA?
Oh, I mean, I'm from Massachusetts, but I moved to LA the same time the British dudes did. So when Disciple moved from England to LA, I moved along with them. Okay. So I've been with them since, and that's been cool.
I know LA's been pretty shut down compared to Florida. For this duration, is it nice to see it finally starting to open back up somewhat? Or is it just a mess?
The traffic is just. It was nice during the quarantine, but
now no one was going anywhere.
Is that what it is? What's the highway?
The 101.
101.
But
all the way through.
everything back. In that case, everything absolutely back to normal. But especially so. I moved from like mid Hollywood, where we all like lived together. I moved to downtown, and then downtown just shut down completely, and there was like no reason to leave the house. Everything being closed, it was just very depressing. So now that everything opens up again, it feels better.
That's nice. And then do you guys have like studio spaces in your house, or do you guys have places that you go to work on music?
There's like a little studio space I have in my house, and then there's a studio 5 minutes, like a little drive away.
Yeah, I just have the one little space in like a separate building from where we live, and I've just built like a home studio in there.
That's nice. I feel like there's something with like removing yourself from your house to be able to, especially in like lockdown, because you could just go from day to day to day, not getting anything done, and just like staring at the wall. Like, when is this gonna end?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you guys just like stoked to be back touring? I know you did some like park and raves and drive-ins and stuff, but I'm sure it's a little bit of a different energy than something like this.
Park and raves were cool. But it was most of the time it was kind of difficult to like see the people because everyone was very far away and not very illuminated, so you couldn't even see what was going on. Maybe there was one person in the back with like an illuminated whip or something doing some flow dance or whatever, and you'd be like, okay, if they're moving, oh, this must be good. But
and it's 5 times worse for me because I'm basically wearing like shutter shades when I'm performing. I can't see anything.
I was always wondering if they would like honk their horns like on the bass drops or just like weird kind of back end.
I've heard most of the times people were like discouraged to honk their horns all the time because otherwise it would like interrupt the show. But if you are like, oh, like let me hear your horns or something, then it's like
it's like the fan clacking.
Yeah.
Like the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Left indicator, right indicator, left indicator, right.
2 donuts. No, just kidding.
Oh my god. And over lockdown, did you guys kind of just take a breather, or were you pursuing like different musical endeavors, working on new projects?
We mostly just kept the same thing going, but we were focused a little more on other things other than releasing music, like releasing sample packs, which is like a huge kind of trend now, I guess.
Splice number 1.
Yeah, all this getting the Splice number 1s, and also we have a Patreon, which we've actually had for years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Where we like you can sign up and like we'll teach you stuff and give out presets and samples and project files from our back catalog, and that's been really fun because we were able to just do that kind of like almost like a full-time job because we had all that time. And that community is like really cool because it's all like people who are super passionate about producing music, which is what we are. Like that's the whole reason why we do this, is because we love like sitting down in front of a computer and making dubstep. Like that's why we're doing it. So it's cool to like interact with like the next generation of those people. So that's been cool, and we're still gonna do that like forever.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I feel like Patreon's been like a saving grace to a lot of artists.
Yeah.
I look at it kind of like a sophisticated OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Where like you're able to just have those like tier-based subscriptions. I have one too, and like my boyfriend and I kind of modeled it off of Kind of Funny. That's like a video game podcast, and like it's so crazy how you can have like fan-based subscription levels and tier levels where you're giving away like free stuff, but it's really like this haven for almost like a producer Discord gone like next level.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's like super, super sick. And stuff with the Patreon pass now, because I feel like we're at such a different point in time in this like industry where when you all started, there were like no preset packs.
Exactly.
And there was nothing. And did you guys start in like Reason, Cubase, like yeah.
Reason for me and
Cubase for me.
Cubase for him. Exactly.
Cakewalk before that even, and then Dance for EJ before that.
GarageBand originally.
Yeah.
So when you guys started, because you guys, I'm sure you're told this over and over again, but you guys are like some of the dons in this dubstep scene. When you guys started doing this, how did you kind of like differentiate that like this was the path you wanted to go down? And like from a sound design aspect, I feel like you guys were some of the first people to like experiment with serum and oscillators and all of that stuff.
It was really like a sound design race at the time, like an arms race to like make these crazy sounds. And we were just like trying to find all the producers who were like doing the craziest sound design. I think like guys like Skrillex were like a huge inspiration for a lot of people, and everyone was just like, okay, how do we make this crazy dubstep stuff? And everyone had their own way of doing it, and we were just kind of there at that kind of explosion of producers, and so is he, and he's been super inspirational in terms of like the sound design stuff for us as well.
The like main structure was just to like, oh, I like this sound that guy made and I'm trying to remake it, but then by not knowing exactly how they did it, you would find your own ways of making a sound, and then eventually that would develop into your own signature sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the beautiful thing that unfortunately doesn't happen nowadays, like a lot nowadays, and that's why I feel like you get people just hopping on trends, and then the trend goes away, and it's hard to find people who have that signature sound that they continue to like evolve and grow and continue on doing.
Something important, I always feel like that is like, that should be your main incentive is, oh, I like what maybe this person is doing, but if I did it, then I would do it that way.
Yeah.
And then try and put that way, like your own way a little more through.
Yeah.
And then that develops your own sound. And
It's totally fine to like borrow or even steal from other people, I think.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's still like your creation, and you're putting your own thing into it. And if you think that your favorite artist hasn't like lifted an idea from their favorite artist and your favorite song by them, like you don't understand like what artists are like. I feel like everyone does that to a certain extent. And then everyone has their moments of genuine like, oh yeah, this is completely like coming out of me. But
it just takes time, I feel like, to figure out just hours and work put into the DAW and whatever instrument you're using.
We're still figuring it all out.
Yes, absolutely.
Never will be settled on like this is it. We're always looking for the next thing.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like you guys will always continue to innovate yourself, because it's like so many careers have a shelf life, and like you say, like Skrillex was like obviously one of your main inspirations. It was a lot of people like, but I listened to like the new track you just released with like Moja and Josh Pan, and he just continues to like reinvent himself as a producer, and I feel like you all have done that within like the realm of bass. So is there any like advice that you would give to someone like me or a beginner producer who's trying to kind of niche their way into this industry to continue to evolve as an artist and not be scared to not put themselves in this box?
It's just don't be scared and don't put yourself in a box. Like I don't know, it's hard to put it any other way, but like I'd say don't like, sometimes it helps to have like, when you find a sound, you like stick to that and you just do that and like make that your identity. But at the same time, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself, because like that can really limit you creatively like years down the road. Like I'd rather be known as someone who can do like a bunch of different things really well than like someone who can just kind of do one thing as like a gimmick, and then and then once people get bored of that, they're bored of you. So like, I don't know, try different tempos, different genres, different styles. Listen to all sorts of music and don't get caught up in
a starting point can be like looking at what's currently trending and then like trying to make the opposite of it as like as like a starting point, because then it's like, oh wow, this is going to be the new thing.
House.
Yeah.
Small room house.
And then once you have attention, then start being like, okay, this is actually me. These are all my songs. This is all the styles I want to do or whatever.
Absolutely. I
That
feel like
can be a good starting point.
Yes, you just have to be somewhat strategic with it and just not be scared to just release what you want to release and what makes you happy. Like, at the end of the day.
Make music that you want to listen to yourself, that makes you happy. Like, oh, I'm listening to all this EDM, but I'm missing whatever, and then you make that, or you try to at least, and then you get better and better at it, and then that will be what makes you different from everything else.
Yeah, and something I loved that came out of quarantine, and you released a song kind of in that subgenre, was like the future rhythm kind of movement.
The Dream Logic?
Yes, Dream Logic, yeah. That, and
Banger.
then people like, and even Disciple had that, the Afterlife compilations, which was so cool because we had just been seeing that kind of subgenre where like Chime, like Harvey and Asora existed. Yeah. And when we went into COVID, when clubs weren't open and this kind of music wasn't being slammed in people's face, they were looking for like cohesive kind of records that were easy to listen to still within the genre.
Yeah, and that you can listen to at home.
Yes.
Not at a rave.
Yeah, that was like Block Party.
Exactly.
Block Party 3. That was like the whole theme almost. It's like we got like Asora, Chime, like Skybreak, Storyboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Storyboard.
You know, everyone like. It just translates really well to like listening at home, but there's also tunes out there that are like melodic, and they just go off at like a festival like this.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so it's cool that that's something we'll take into shows going forward after COVID. Is like, I feel like towards right before COVID, everything was going towards like this really dark place where it's like, oh my god, we're just getting towards like distorted, like aggressive heavy metal noises and like mosh pits for an hour. And it's like, I think that stuff's so cool and it has its place. But I don't know, it's just cool to see something evolve out of that.
Well, I feel like that's the evolution of the scene, and it's a good place for it to be because it's more welcoming to people who don't necessarily listen to the genre to begin with. As you know, we come off from Sundust, you know, he's just flooring it. But it's like there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what he's doing is so cool.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
And that's what I love is like, and that's what you guys have too. Is just you have this like artistic vision with not only the visuals and the music, but just the whole cohesive piece. You're not just getting up there, you're not just pressing play. It's a whole performance. And I feel like the more people that can embody this performance and add some sort of uniqueness to them, the more it will push our scene forward.
True.
Yeah. I mean, moving forward, do you guys have anything that you're excited to release this fall?
Yes, we have a bunch of music. We're actually working on a little music video right now, which is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sure Val has a lot of cool stuff in the works as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can talk about it. Yeah, but there's a lot of lots of songs.
Yes, I'm very excited, and you guys have been working on other projects too, besides like just your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
'Cause you worked on a few albums on the back end, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I did like this Justin Bieber song with Skrillex on his new album, the first tune called Too Much.
Yeah.
And just like random stuff here and there. I've also been doing this like little poppy side project, Still Kids. That's like just very like happy EDM influenced by like Owl City, Unicorn Kid, Marshmello, Chainsmokers, just as like, because just eventually you get a little tired of only making heavy music or dubstep every day, so it was just like this kind of breakout thing.
Yeah, we make a ton of like synthwave, and a lot of it is like unreleased. I don't know like entirely if we're gonna do like a full synthwave project or anything, but it's a big part of all the new music that we're working on. So we're really excited to kind of show that to people very soon.
Exciting. Yes, well, I'm really excited, and I assume that you guys have, you know, places you're going in the fall, and you know, festivals, and tour dates, and club dates and stuff.
We sure do.
That's awesome. Yeah. I feel like the Disciple events are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and especially coming out of COVID, everyone just wants to go everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be like the biggest event soon since like the Roaring
There's all this
20s.
built up energy from everyone.
Yes. Well, I look in the crowd and I'm just like, I can't imagine coming from California and seeing this. It's like almost surreal in a sense to see
It's super weird, yeah.
everyone back, because at one point I was just like, okay, is this going to be the new normal? Are we going to get back to the normal way? And now we're here and we're back, which is good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No,
Feels
absolutely.
good.
But I just wanted to thank you guys for coming on. I know you guys played a killer set tonight.
Thanks
so
for having
thank
us.
you guys for your time.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have influenced the scene greatly. So, you know, we all greatly appreciate you guys, and we're excited to see what's next.
Cool.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Live from Ruined Kingdom. We got Barely Alive. We got Virtual Riot. See you soon. Peace.
Peace.
Break your fucking neck, bitch!